What's up guys? Now in today's video I want to show you a new case that has been sent to us. It is this one here and it's been sent to us from a company called Okinos. For those of you that haven't heard of that company, they generally work within the US, but they are coming to the UK and they've sent us cases before. The previous case they sent us was the Aqua 9 and it was exceptional quality, and this one is absolutely no different. This one though is a little bit more fancy over flare, which is exactly what I want, and it's got some really cool unique features. So let's dive into it and show you some of those. So this case is the Okinos Air Cross and it's actually directed towards airflow, but they've actually polished it off with some really nice kind of premium features. Straight away you can tell from the front that it is actually kind of more designed for those discreet places. You've got the front mesh panel here that's about 2/3 of the width, and then they've got this beautiful wooden kind of emblem on the front here. This is actually real wood and they do give you a certificate of authenticity in the box. They've also integrated the power switch into that, which I'm not 100% sure is in the right place or not, because generally you have your PC on the right. Maybe they should have put the power switch on the left of it so it's easier to reach, but either way it actually works quite well. It's a nice little clicky button, but it kind of integrates into that panel really nicely. This is actually something that you could probably definitely have in a living room because of how kind of prestige it looks, and that kind of flows throughout the rest of the case. It is an ATX mid-tower sized case. It has a height of 462 millimeters, a width of 238 millimeters. It has a depth of 468 millimeters, so it's not the largest case out there, but it will actually support enough components for you to pretty much put anything you want inside of it. When it comes to component support, it will support either an ITX, a micro ATX, or an ATX motherboard. I don't know why you would want to stick an ITX board in here, but it will take it if you want to. It has a max cooler height of 180 millimeters, a max GPU length of 400 millimeters, which pretty much means you can fit any graphics card you want into the system, and it has a max PSU length of around 170 millimeters. Now that is a key and important here because they've done something really unusual and unique with where you actually place the power supply. In terms of cooling support, in the top you can fit up to 3 120mm fans or one 360mm radiator. That's actually enough to support most setups. In the front, you're going to be able to install two 140mm fans, which is going to provide plenty of airflow into a system. Then in the rear, you can fit up to one 140mm fan, which is always the option I tend to go for, or one 120mm radiator. So if you do have a kind of lower end system running with a 120mm radiator, something like an AIO, or maybe you've just extended your custom loop, you can actually get away with installing something there. It also supports up to two 120mm fans in the bottom, which again is something very unique in this case because they've actually moved things around in the bottom, and as we take it apart I'll show you. Now the case itself is built extremely well. It's not flexible. They've double edged all the steel. They've done pretty much everything that you expect from a premium case, although this doesn't really come at a premium price. At the moment you will pay around £113 for this on Amazon, which is pretty mid-range for a case price really. They do stretch from £50 to £200, £300, so this kind of sits way into the middle, but to be honest, for the quality you get in, I think it's probably a little bit cheap, so it's definitely worth going to check that out if you do want one of these, because I think that's a very decent price at the moment. But generally the whole case, like all Okinos cases, are completely toolless. You can just basically unclick everything, and when it comes to things like the glass panel, this is about 5mm thick. It's extra thick compared to other cases that I've used in the past. And because you can just drop it out very easily like that, it's very easy to take apart and clean and things. So they've actually done a fantastic job on this. And also the glass panel does come with the black edging round, so you kind of hide any of the metal around the chassis itself. Very common theme now on cases, but it just goes to show some of the actual thoughts and details they've put into this, and they've actually got quite a few of these as well. As you can see, I've already built a system into this, and this is actually our benching rig. For those of you that remember our benching rig, it used to actually reside in the Okinos Aqua 9. It was an absolutely fantastic case, don't get me wrong, but it was a little bit flary. It's got a lot of RGB and it's perfect for a gaming PC. But I wanted something that's a little bit more discreet, something a little bit more polished and finished, and this is exactly the case that I think will do that. As you can see, the motherboard that we've got installed in here is a full ATX board. It fits beautifully fine, and we do run a 360mm all-in-one cooler for the CPU, which fit into the top perfectly fine. The build process on this was very simple. there's plenty of space to be able to install everything in there, and even if you install the motherboard first and the cooler all in one, you can still reach all of the screws at the top. You can still reach all of the plugs for your fans and your CPU power, all of that kind of stuff really. All of the ports that you actually get through where you bring cables through, particularly here and here, come with rubber grommets, which is nice to see because it just kind of, again, gives you that more polished off feel, and there's plenty of holes for lots of different cables to come through. Some of the more unique features inside of here though are the fact that there is a drop basement here, which actually has two 120mm fans in it, which will make you think, if there's two fans there, where does the power supply go? Well, the power supply in this one is actually installed at the front. So they've kind of swiveled it round at a 90-degree angle. Seems very unusual, and I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but so far, particularly when building it, and you can just remove this little panel here, which has got lots of ventilation in, you can actually see the back of the power supply here. This means that the power supply, at least the way that I've installed it, will be drawing air from the bottom in the front, and it will be exhausting it out of the side. Now, for those of you that have your PC on the right-hand side, which most people do, that's actually going to generate some nice heat that blows across your keyboard. So that could be a bonus unless you live in a really hot country and you don't want that kind of thing. But you can flip this power supply over so it will draw air in from the inside, and then it will still exhaust outside there as well. One of the bonuses to the way that they fit this, particularly when other cases generally, if they do fit them at the front, have them at the top here, is the fact that you can quickly remove this panel so that you can actually use the switch again. It's always a pain when you actually install a power supply and you've got all this extra gump that goes on top of it and you forgot to hit that switch, because things like this actually do have an extension which is built in that goes all the way to the back. And then, as you can see on the back, which is pretty standard for the most part, it does have the extension plug on here too. There's no switch though. The switch is actually on the power supply itself, but you basically plug your power in there. It extends it all the way to the front under the bottom, and then you can plug it into there. Now, there is enough connection wire on this. It's actually quite long, so it doesn't matter which way you install your power supply, you can actually get that plug to fit too. You don't need a different type of extension, which again, some other cases do or they don't provide. And unfortunately, if you do have the wrong power supply, they just don't fit. It's really annoying, and you have to check their websites to be able to make sure that your power supply works with them. But with this one, pretty much any power supply will. That is an extremely unique feature that I've never seen on a case before, having a front mounted 90-degree power supply. And I'm hoping it works out quite well. So far, in terms of build process, it did work really well, because if we just flip around the back here, and the back again is just toolless, you can just basically take the side off just like that. And as you can see, there is plenty of space in the back here. We've basically got about 1.5 inches worth of space from the back plate to where the side panel will come, which is plenty of space for cabling. We've got all the front I/O cabling going on here. We've got the 24-pin cable just tucked in nicely there. They've provided lots of Velcro things for you to actually stick cables down with. You've got lots of pegs and other kind of clips and things that you can use. And as you can see, the power supply at the bottom here means that all of the ports on our modular power supply actually stick quite easily out of the back. Now, that is actually pretty cool, because it means it's very easy to plug the plugs in afterwards. You don't have to build the power supply first, and it made installation very simple and pretty quick as well. The space that they have actually reserved at the bottom without having the power supply in there does actually serve those two 120mm fans. And because the side panel here has a ventilation all the way down the bottom, and the front one has ventilation all the way across the top, it means that this system can draw air in from either side and actually up directly into your graphics card. So for us, using this as a benching rig is going to be beautifully fine, because we want as much air as we can get to our components, and that's a much better design than the one that I had previously, which worked, but it was more for gaming than actual benchmarking things. Again, in the back, just the last final bit here, they have installed some extra brackets for things like SSDs and hard drives. One of the things that I haven't seen in a while in a brand new case is one of these. Now, this is a tray for a 3.5-inch hard drive. It is rubber grommeted. You can actually unscrew it, mount your drive and screw it back in again. So they've provided that one. You can fit up to one 3.5-inch drive there, and then they've got a similar bracket here for your 2.5-inch drives, and that will actually fit two in it. So you can have up to two 2.5-inch drives, one 3.5-inch drives, and they just click on and off. There's no kind of higgledy-piggledy stuff to be able to get things in and out. It's very simple to be able to do that. And once you've got the cabling in, which, like I say, fits perfectly fine, you can simply just pop the side on, and it clips back on again. Now that is a common theme throughout this whole entire case. The only time that I actually needed to use a screwdriver for building this system was, of course, putting the power supply in because it's got 4 normal screws, and putting in the rear fan. Now the rear fan doesn't come installed because there is a notice in the back of this case. It says if you are going to be using a 360mm all-in-one cooler, you need to fit that first so that you can fit this fan in, otherwise you don't have enough space to do it. But they do provide this fan in the accessory box, which is this one here. This actually comes installed into the case. It's actually in that little lower piece there, and it gives you pretty much everything that you need, from that extra fan, cabling, kind of cable ties, screws, all that kind of stuff. It also provides a GPU bracket, which I haven't installed in here because this system's going to have multiple graphics cards in there, so I don't want to set something up permanently. But it will actually sit on these little 2 sliders at the front, grips your graphics card with some screws, and then you can adjust it to wherever you need it to be, and that will actually take a bit of weight off, and hopefully you don't get any GPU sag. They've included that into the system, so you don't need to purchase anything extra for that. But yeah, so far everything is looking pretty good. Very quick to install, took less than 20 minutes, particularly with the power supply and the way that you can just have so much space in here. And like I say, everything else is pretty much toolless. This side panel here, which you basically just hook in, slide on, does come with thumb screws, so that's toolless as well. And then when it comes to installing things into the top, that is toolless as well. You just basically click the top up, and then you've got the top here. Now the top does have a dust extractor on it, but it is in metal. It's not one of those magnetic ones. Can probably be a little bit awkward if you are using the top for maybe an exhaust and you want the full maximum airflow out. You will need to remove the top, and it looks a bit silly. But on the top you do have the front I/O here. It's just up here. You don't get the power switch there because obviously it's on the front, but you do get a reset switch, 2 USB 3s, a USB-C, and a combined audio and mic jack. So that is all on the top, as pretty much most cases kind of come like that nowadays. And it's easy to click back on again. One of the other cool features about the I/O port, if I just move this PC down here so that you can see it, and this is how I usually tell if a case is quite premium or not. I've not seen this much, but if you actually go through your accessory box, they do give you these little rubber grommets for your USB ports and things like that. So you basically just install them in like this. And for the ports that you don't generally use, it stops any dust from sitting inside of them. I love it when actual case manufacturers do this, because particularly if you've got the I/O on the top, dust settles into these ports and it can become really annoying, particularly for us, because this system sits around for a little bit, then it will be used to benchmark graphics cards and things, and then it will sit around for a bit again. So it does gather a bit of dust. It's nice to have something that is kind of self-cleaning, or at least self-maintaining, because I don't use any of those ports there. So that is actually a really cool little feature. Your reset switch can also double as an LED switch. It does have it written on it, but I've actually set this up as a reset switch because I don't actually want that much RGB in here. The other system that I had loads of RGB. I wanted something that was a little bit more sophisticated. So that is a general overview of the case. Lots of cool features, lots of premium features, and very easy to build up. The only other bit really is the front panel here. Now the front panel is, like I say, 3/4 mesh with a real wood thing on the bottom. If I actually go through the accessory box, I can show you the little certificate that they send. I didn't actually find this until later on when I was actually playing with the case, but if I just open this up, you've got your GPU bracket there. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Get some bags out with screws and things like that. I tend to use my own screws, but there was enough in here to be able to get all of this built. And then if you just shake it a little bit more, they do give you this little tiny card here, which says it is a genuine solid wood front, and they give you a little example of the colour in there. That's actually pretty cool, because originally I thought maybe this was plastic and that they just kind of vinyl wrapped it or something, but no, it is actually wood. They've put some real effort in, some real nice premium feel. The front as well, you can actually remove this front panel, and it's very easy. It's toolless. You don't need to remove the actual plastic surround. All you need to do is push into the top at the front and it will spring load just like most of the rest of the case. Then you just need to grip it and kind of slide that out. That is then your dust filter as well. It is in metal just like the top, so another premium feature, and it's very easy to uninstall just like that. Hoover it out, get all the dust out that you want, and pre-install it back in. The thing that they do include on this, like we said with the rear fan, they provide that 140mm fan to you when you purchase the case, so you've got that one covered. They also provide two 140mm fans in the front, and they are very good quality as well. They are Okinos, but they do have rubber mounts in the corners. They run very silently, and they've also connected them together with a daisy chain. So you can actually have a single 4-pin PWM connection on them ones. They've already daisy chained it inside the case. And then you do get, which I don't know, there it is. So they do provide this splitter here, 4-pin PWM splitter. That is actually got 3 connections plus this one here, and that is because you may only have a single PWM connection for your chassis. I don't know who would have a full ATX board and only have one, but maybe you do. That means you can connect the front, the rear, and the existing provided two 120mm fans in the bottom, which are reverse bladed, so you see the tops of them as well. They are daisy chained together too, so in total, with all the fans, you get the 2 in the front, 2 in the bottom, 1 in the back. Very good quality fans, very, very quiet, all daisy chained if they're multiples together, and then you could hook them all into this little splitter that they provide and use only one header on your motherboard. I've not used this because my motherboard has plenty of fan headers. I've actually connected the front ones up to their own, the bottom ones up to their own, and the rear one up to its own. And what I will do is I will actually set some custom curves on these so that the graphics card's being fed properly, all the rest of the system's being fed properly, and the exhaust will probably be quite high, so it can just basically get rid of as much air as possible. The 360mm AIO in the top will also extract a lot of air too. But yeah, generally this is pretty much how the case looks. I've actually been very impressed with the quality of it, and installing the front is very simple. You just reverse how you got out of it, you hook it in there and click it back in. Be careful if you are actually lifting this case up afterwards, because when I was lifting it before, if you grip the case like that, you accidentally press it and the front falls out, so be careful of that one. But aside from that, most people don't kind of carry their computers around like we do. But apart from that, yes, I actually really do love this case. Everything fits into it beautifully. It's going to provide us enough space for big graphics cards. It's got enough space for lots of airflow. You can definitely put even more into this if you wanted faster fans, if you wanted better quality fans. I'm not sure what kind of better quality fans you can get, but maybe you want a full Noctua build or something, so you can definitely get away with putting all that kind of stuff in there. And overall, yeah, I'm pretty impressed. So this is the Okinos Air Cross. You will see this case going forward on the channel, because every time we benchmark a graphics card or test something weird, this is the case that we're going to be using. It's much lighter than the original. The original that we had, the Aqua 9, is actually, it was glass paneling all the way around, and glass is very, very heavy. This is a very lightweight chassis, even though for the thickness of the steel, I was quite surprised at how light it is. You put the glass panel in, it's a little bit heavier, but overall it's not as heavy as the other one. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Okinos Air Cross. I'm really impressed with it. It's definitely worth the money, in my opinion, that they're currently selling them for. I don't really know how they're selling them for that cheap, to be honest. It's very rare that we find a case that has this kind of quality, and you can just feel it. It's very difficult to show on a camera, but you can just feel it in the case. Sometimes cases have flexes in them and stuff like that, but yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content and you want to see this case in action going forward. And I'm sure, as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.